So I'm going to begin every EFT session with this exact footage because it'll be easier for me to separately record the audio. So this introduction is just going to be what the tapping points are, how to use them with the recording that will come immediately after this, and we'll just do a little bit of just getting into our bodies, just a small meditation to get us into that nice ventral state. But if you're unfamiliar, the tapping points, we're going to be using the crown. And when you tap, you're tapping with a decent amount of pressure, but you're not poking. You're probably wanting to hit the same spot like 7 to 14 times before moving to the next, but you don't actually have to count. It's just to give you a feel for how long you'll be at one point, and typically sentence by sentence or line by line you'll be moving down the points. So we go crown, then the third eye, then right at the side of the eye, then there's a point here, and this one should be pretty easy to find if you're hitting it right. At least for me, there was a lot of tension when I started doing this here, and you could sort of feel it ripple out. So this one was really an important meridian for me. The next is the philtrum, which is this area between the upper lip and the nose. And then the next one is like just above the chin, just below the lower lip. Beyond that, you'll be tapping on the chest, pretty much hovering around the collarbones. And if that's all you want to do and then come back to here, that's fine. There are also two, like your ribs stop here, your pecs stop here, or breasts, and then this area of ribs right on the top, that's another meridian point that we can use. There's also about it's hard to describe exactly where this is. It's like in line with your sternum, but to the side, and that's of course both. And beyond that, you can tap right here at the wrist where you have the joint. You can do the karate chop point here. Then, yeah, I'll go through the fingers as well. But you'd be tapping sort of toward the corner of your thumbnail, then toward the corner of your index, toward the corner of the nail on your middle, and the meridian on the ring finger is actually on the other side, so you would switch from going top down to going bottom up, again at the corner of the nail. And with the pinky, you would go back to top down, doing the same thing. But those aren't needed. The face is just the most important. But, again, you will, while tapping, you'll sort of feel natural points. Sorry, there's a road there, and I don't know how noisy that truck is going to be to the camera. But there will be a natural point getting into this where you'll just know after completing a thought to sort of move to the next. But that's the introduction to the tapping. The recordings will just be stating certain emotions or psychological concepts, and you're just sort of tapping through each idea one point at a time and just moving through it. And at any point, if something I say in the recording doesn't match up or align with anything that you struggle with, but and you don't want to say it, you can fill in the blank with something that is sort of fitting to the idea that we're tapping through that does apply to you specifically. And you don't have to speak out loud, but I would suggest at least like breathing out the words as if you were going to enunciate them, at the very least. So let's just begin by taking a deep breath in through the diaphragm. And just hold it at the top for a moment. And slowly exhale. Again. Exhale. And just sink into your body. I just want to feel the air on your skin. If there's any heat, any cool breeze, any sunshine that's easily noticeable on your skin. And we'll take another slow, deep breath in. And I want you to feel the expansion of your diaphragm and into your lungs. And then hold it for a few seconds. And as you slowly exhale, I just want you to feel the release that comes with that. Notice the sense of gravity, the feeling of your muscles being pulled down. Just notice how grounding that is, how cozy. Can you feel your heartbeat at all? How fresh is the air that you breathe? And now, we begin tapping. I acknowledge that I seek comfort and safety. It's smart to find security. I honor that I prefer to be safe. Today, I want to explore one aspect of security. My confidence in my worldview makes me feel safe. There is a sense of security to feeling that I know the truth. So it makes sense that I would want to protect my worldview. Because, in my point of view, the world makes sense. And as long as the world makes sense, it feels less dangerous.
I enjoy the peace of mind that comes with feeling safe, but I acknowledge that there may be faulty information within my paradigm. So, when information threatens my worldview by differing from what I've come to assume is true, I often feel that sense of security weaken. Sometimes I feel an urgent need to block new information from changing my point of view. At times, I notice in myself a desire to reestablish that sense of security. At times, I notice myself fighting notions that contradict the ones I've categorized as true and safe. It's okay to have been wrong about something. Having been wrong about something does not make me a bad person. Admitting that I was wrong about something is not a weakness of character. Noticing that I was wrong about something is an opportunity to grow. Noticing I was wrong about something is an opportunity to learn. Even though I've been wrong before, I love and accept myself. Even though oftentimes my pride gets tied into ideas that are proven wrong, I still love and accept myself. I understand and acknowledge that I am a learning person. And part of learning is unlearning bad information that I've adopted into my worldview. I am glad to be here today to make a stronger worldview. I love and accept myself. Sometimes I feel my paradigm is threatened by new information, and it can be terrifying to think that I've been navigating life under false notions or outright deceit. At times, I feel a deep fear, a fear that if I'm wrong, I've been wrong for years or perhaps even decades. The thought of being wrong about my worldview makes me feel unsafe. I really hate feeling unsafe. Sometimes I consider how propaganda may have deceived me. I don't want to feel tricked or fooled or stupid. I hate feeling tricked or betrayed. I hate feeling stupid. So I understand why, at times, I want to reject what threatens my current beliefs about the world. But I acknowledge that what I would prefer to feel does not change what is true. And I know it's better to know what's true. I understand that epiphanies can be uncomfortable. But epiphanies are also enlightening. Today, I set an intention to welcome epiphanies. Today, I set an intention to consciously remind myself that knowing the truth is worth the visceral feeling of discomfort associated with the part of my worldview being shattered. Though I hate feeling that I have been wrong and regret for actions made in the dark, accepting the light of more accurate information will allow me to better navigate the world. When something I was sure was true is proven false, I feel like the truth, or anyone speaking it, is attacking my sense of safety and my sense of identity. In these moments, I notice a reaction swell within me that wants to swat away and dismiss the truth so it can't break my sense of self and my sense of security. But I understand this is a coping mechanism, a protective reflex for my ego to retreat to a paradigm where the world is understood, and therefore predictable, and therefore less threatening. I don't want to feel threatened in my world. I try to remind myself that this protective reflex, if left unchecked, will keep me in the dark. That my ego, if it had its way, would continue to operate under false information and prevent me from learning. I acknowledge that it is my responsibility to expose my mind to uncomfortable concepts, to have a better and more accurate understanding of the world, even if those concepts are horrifying. I understand why I'm afraid of having been wrong my entire life. Because if I've been wrong, my actions may have been misguided, my compassion may have been closed off, my words may have been ignorant, and that I may have contributed to harmful ideologies. But I try to remember the price of truth is always a bargain, because it liberates. And after the smoke settles from the destruction of my former beliefs, I am better off. I am relieved to no longer be operating in ignorance, to no longer support cultural bigotries that were taught to me. It is natural to want to seek safety, so I do not begrudge myself for wanting to protect my paradigm. But I understand it is an investment in my future to know more accurate information as soon as I can accept it. And I promise to have the patience to know better and to support myself. And even though I habitually fight new information, I accept myself despite my insecurities. I am here today to offer love to myself just as I am. I understand that what I believe does not change how safe or unsafe my world is. But when new ideas make me feel unsafe, I intend to remind myself that I prefer accuracy to the comfort of ignorance. With patience, I will remind myself to seek the truth. When evidence that I had incorrect knowledge is brought to me, I want to hold myself to a high standard. I don't want to be the kind of person who stays in denial, but rather I want to be someone who has the strength of character and the courage to face difficult subject matter. I find that level of strength and courage honorable, and I am excited to hold more strength and courage in this area. I set an intention to recognize my courage when it arises, and I plan to honor that. And even when I'm too afraid to seek truth, I recognize the terrified inner child within me, and I bring that child love and acceptance. Even though at times I want to fight information that threatens my worldview, I love and accept myself. Even though sometimes I feel as if I'm clinging to ideology because it feels safer than what might be truth, I love and accept myself. I forgive the natural drive to protect my ego, and consciously remind myself that the discomfort of finding weaknesses in my foundation allows me to build a stronger one. I want a stronger foundation, and I'm excited to support myself in building one. I don't want to feel like I've wasted my life, but what I want to feel does not change what is true, and I fully acknowledge that. Even though I wish I had all the answers, and could safely know how the world works, I know there's a lot of disinformation out there, and I must acknowledge that some of that disinformation must be braided into my sense of self. I must also acknowledge that being humbled by new overwhelming evidence is the fastest way to find those threads of disinformation and remove them from that braid. And it saddens me to acknowledge that my self-concept is most likely tainted by lies. And I want to be here with myself to clean the conceptual dirt off of my identity, to better uncover and nurture who I truly am. I set an intention to get to know who I am, separate from the culture I was born into. I am excited to learn the most genuine me that I can find. And I can't wait to fully love and accept with total forgiveness whoever the most genuine me truly is. Sometimes, when I discover that I was tricked, I feel self-directed resentment. But I am aware that I never tried to be tricked, and that I love and accept myself despite the feelings of having been fooled. I want to get to know me, and part of that process is dismantling the propaganda my country may have subjected me to. I love and accept myself, and will continue to do so. I want to know what's true, because the sooner I do, the sooner I can heal from any damage false information or deceit has caused. I want to know what's true, so I can best align my integrity with reality. I want to know what's true, so I can correct my course of behavior. I want to know what's true, so I don't blindly follow harmful parts of my culture. I want to know what's true, so I can see people with the amount of compassion they deserve, instead of seeing them as a series of labels that were taught to me. I want to know what's true, even if it hurts, because I know it's better for me. I want to know what's true, even if it's unpleasant, because it's better for others. I want to know what's true, and I honor myself for that. Now, take some time to stay with any feelings that came up during this session, and continue to tap and talk through your own emotions, and just keep going for as long as these topics feel raw. Thank you for joining me today.